Do you have a gas problem? Gear acquisition syndrome? Let's talk about it now.
In this video, I want to talk about our gas problem. The gas problem as in gear acquisition syndrome. Especially if you're starting out as a YouTuber, you want to get the best gear for recording your videos. Well, you don't need the greatest, most newest gear actually to make a YouTube. In fact, just having a old camera like this Sony a5000 is more than adequate. Now there's an issue with this type of camera, and actually I have a work around it, and I'll make that video in the future. But let's talk about just having what the gear you have now that you should be able to do YouTube videos. Now initially I was like all gung-ho about the new camera coming from Nikon, like for example the Nikon ZR, and then the Panasonic S1 II, as well as the Canon C50 or the Sony FX2, which are amazing camera, but the problem is they're between $3,000 to $5,000. Yes, you heard that right. That's how much it costs. And the gears I already have actually can do everything I need to do for YouTube. And just because the new gear, the new camera, have an extra feature like 4K 120, do I really need it? In fact, that's what I want to talk about now. You don't need it. Especially for my case, I film all my videos in 1080p. And so most of the older camera that I have, like the GH4, which actually can film in 4K, but I actually film in 1080p to save on space, and also for editing on my laptop, it's much faster. So those are the things that I need to consider. So let me go through why I don't need new gears. In fact, I need to work on my techniques and skills, like using DaVinci Resolve properly, using the new AI tools that I have acquired to make myself having a better skills at editing and all that stuff, which you see in the beginning of the video. I actually use an AI tools to do that. When you're filming in 1080p or even 720p, it's actually beneficial, especially if you're putting special effects on it using AI, which this is the point. Now we have tools like AI editing for special effects. You don't need 4K, you actually need 1080p. And if you're doing like sci-fi movies and all that on YouTube, this is a God-given blessing, because you have this now new tools. You can combine that with your video editing at 1080p, and the workflow is much better using 1080p or 720p on YouTube. Especially if you convert that into, let's say, RAW, like a CDNG on my, for example, Sigma FP, I can record CDNG 1080p at 12-bit. And then what I can do is I can take one of the image, and then using AI editing, like say VO3 or other image to video editing from AI, I could actually make it even better or make special effects on it. Okay, so this is why new tools, new video cameras may not help you to work better. In fact, it may hinder you, especially if it can record in 4K or 8K or 6K, whatever it may be. It is very taxing on the computer itself, especially if you have like a lower model or a very slow computer. And then if you upload that to, let's say, a server from Google and all that, and you want to edit a 4K, that is also a problem, because most likely it will take forever to process, or that they may not even handle a 4K or 8K image. Okay, so consider that when you're trying to do things on YouTube. I would say 1080p is actually the sweet spot, especially if you're going to make short films, or you're going to try to make some kind of special effects in your film, like sci-fi movies and all that, right? Combining with your camera, 1080p camera, and if it's producing raw output like ProRes RAW 1080p or CD&G RAW, those files would be perfect for combining that with AI technology, and you can actually speed up your workflow much better. So that's my take on these newer cameras. You don't need it, especially if you're working towards a good story content, right? You want that special effects, but you don't want to spend too much time on it, right? You want to be able to process as quickly as possible and then edit it smoothly. So having a older camera, 1080p, in fact, this is my Sony a5000. I have also Fujifilm X-T3, the Sony a7R III, the Sony S700R. Those are already good camera, especially if I want to film in 1080p and do color grading and adding special effects, AI stuff and all that. I think it's more than accurate. And the next thing, of course, is the audio gears, right? I actually have a pretty good audio gears, and combine that, there's no issue at all. So, like I would give advice to you and to myself, do not acquire any more new gears. Use the gear you have and try to learn new skills, like, for example, software skills like DaVinci Resolve, learn more about that, or Blender, or Unreal Engine, or the AI tool that's now available. Spend money on those, right? Like, for example, you can actually get, spend a monthly payment of like $20 to $100 a month to use all these very cool and super tools from AI technology, right? And you can actually make your film look much better, and the process of editing and all that will speed up your workflow. So that's what I would say. Spend more money on actually building up your skills and learn about the software. And I think this is where you should put all your effort in, right? And maybe even put some more, maybe if you want to buy gear, you can put more money on your, like, say, lighting system, right? Maybe having a better lighting system, or maybe rent a place for filming a location is probably more worth it than to get a new gear. So those are the things that you might have consider, right? Buy tools that is going to be used often, whether software or hardware. Rent it out if you have to, instead of spending one-time payment of like $3,000 to $5,000. That money could actually be enough to hire a good team for acting, like actress and actor, those kind of things that are actually better spent than to buy one gear that is so expensive. All right? Next time, I'll be showing you how to make this Sony a5000 camera into a super vlogging camera. As you know, the Sony a5000 do have an issue with heating, and as well as the 30-minute recording limits. Now, I was able to take all those away, and even the sound quality. In fact, I'm recording right now with my Sony a5000. Let me know what you think of the sound quality. Okay, so I have improved on that as well. Just using this $150 gear. Yeah. All right, thanks for watching. EducateTube.com.